Hello, 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 hello. We are live. We are here. We are live. Welcome to Talk Live at 8 p.m. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am getting better with timing. I am. And we are ready to go here on Talk Live to talk about a very lively subject. I hope you are well. Season's greetings to you all. Hope you are near done, if not done, with your Christmas shopping. I've just finished up this week. And it's been a fantastic week. Just waiting for all the people to tune in and stream in. And thank you for joining me on Talk Live. I was in Yorkdale yesterday. Oh. You know what? The best time, let me tell you something. The best time to go Christmas shopping is near to the end of closing time. Let that be said. The best time to go Christmas shopping is near to the end of closing time. You know why? You get your own, you get to walk up into a space. You get 2 hours. I mean, most of these malls are open until 10 p.m. anyway. So you get to walk in and do what you want at your leisure. There aren't any of the crowds. All the crowds are pretty much gone by then. So I got in there around 8 o'clock. I left there around 10, and it was, most of the hullabaloo was gone by then. So I was quite impressed by my timing. And I did some Christmas shopping at the time, and it was quite pleasant, to be fair. Thank you very much. And all the, except for in a couple of stores, but even then it wasn't that very big. I think Sephora was big. I was checking out some fragrances there. I was checking out some fragrances at Nordstrom, including some fashion as well. Oof, there are a few stores I will revisit on Boxing Day. Yes, there are a few stores I'm not going to say because I don't want to rush a stampede or anything like that. Like I'm going to cause a rush or stampede anyway. But anyways, thank you for joining me on Talk Live. We are live here on IG and YouTube. And thank you for joining me. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Fall winter line out now. Go and get your Christmas savings. Go and get your Christmas bargains now. They are getting cheap and readily available. So thank you for joining me on Talk Live here on IG and YouTube. So we're gonna get into this thing that I just saw on my timeline this afternoon, like literally this afternoon. Just Pearly Things, aka Karen Samuels. That is a good one. I gotta say it again. Just Pearly Things, aka Karen Samuels, was available. Had uploaded her interview with. Did a live actually. She did a live with her a live interview with Brittany Renner, and it was. I just got to look back at it for the most part tonight when I got in from work, and it was fascinating. It was very, very eye-opening, revealing. I would rival that interview with that of the late great Godfather himself, Kevin Samuels, and it was. I think it was more slightly thought-provoking, slightly more revealing on the part of Brittany, and and I think with this interview you really got to take away, what has the remains of Brittany Renner, in my opinion, and where she is now in her state. I mean, she's still living in her truth. She's still doing all. She's done to do, and she's not apologetic of it, and I think she's come to terms with her life, and quite simply, she doesn't disagree with what she's done over time, and and it's all to all intents and purposes, she's come to come in peace with it. So again, So I want to just play that back today. I want to talk about that, give a blow by blow account of the actual interview, because it is revealing. I mean, Brittany Renner, if you do not know who she is a famous Instagram model / fitness advisor. Her stock and trade was dating ballers and entertainers. Okay. And you'll see in time how this time with balls and entertainers had paid off in the end towards, basically an entertainment career, a podcast career. Well, supposed in her mind, she wants to be an entertainer. She wants to be the next, I would say, Corinne Steffens. Again, Ms. She's already had a book out. She's already doing her thing in the let's put this over here. She's already doing her thing in the literary world, and now she wants to take her stuff onto YouTube and on the road and see how far she can get with that. Because again, she is a quote unquote reformed 304 girl. She now has a son, and she's living in Charlotte, North Carolina, next to her estranged ex boyfriend PJ Washington. If you didn't know, he's a member of the Charlotte Hornets, 6 years her junior, and she has now she says, well, she's not well. Let's play out the video. Let's do that. Let's see about Brittany Renner's life. Let's see about Brittany Renner's loves. Let's see about the lessons that she's learned, and if indeed we should have thoughts and feelings and remorse for and if we should feel sorry for Brittany Renner in general. So we're gonna get into that right now. Let me get into the split screen. Thank you for joining me on Talk Live right here on IG and YouTube. So we're gonna get into this right now. Just Pearly Things, aka Karen Samuels, is available. I mean, she's doing wonderful things right now. She is blowing up the YouTube space. I think she's probably the most viewed channel right now in the manosphere, and she's been I think she's been able to pull such infamous guests as Brittany Renner, and she did a full length interview with her. I think this may be part 1 of 2, or if anything. But again, as you can see here on Talk Live here on IG and YouTube, we are going to get into this interview, and it is quite revealing. Let me say that. I would say a better interview than that of Kevin Samuels, where Kevin, tried to put her onto some game and how she can move her life forward. This was more of a revealing topic where she got to speak about herself and her trials and tribulations as a 304 girl and now a mother, and now she wants to and how she wants to take things forward. So we're gonna play this video now. Thank you for joining me on Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's get into it. So again, ladies and gentlemen, and good on Brittany Renner. She reveals most of her true self here. But the fact of the matter is, she said she found herself in Los Angeles, and quite simply found herself dating Colin Kaepernick. Let's face facts, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, she was dating for someone college age for 4 years. She got to know her worth. She knew she was a pretty lady, and she said to herself, "Listen, after college, I said, this is not the life for me. I'm moving out to LA and see what I'm really worth on the open market." That was always in her plans. I would not say that she found herself in LA. She wanted to go LA. She wanted to date ballers. That was because she found her worth. Quite simply, she found her level, and quite simply, she wanted to test it out in the open market in one of the most the toughest dating markets in the world in LA. and she wanted to meet up with entertainers and ballers, and her first meetup was with indeed Colin Kaepernick, and things went well to that stage. And you know what, hey, that's the life she chose because again, as you'll see with with her origin story, she did not come from the most the most salubrious, the most high class of means. She was born in Mississippi. I'm not guaranteed that she came from a single parent home or not, but chances are she did. She made her way in the world, and quite simply, she wanted to again get down with ballers and entertainers, and so she said, you know what, I know my worth, I know my value, I know I'm an 8, so I'm going to get out to L.A. and make my mark. So she did. So here we go. Just to let you know, Brittany Renner is indeed mixed race, and again, that's a whole thing where she could have gone both ways. She could have dated white guys. She could have dated black guys. I mean, not to say that you can't do it in the modern day, any race of individual, but she took advantage of her beauty, her status. She started dating white guys. That was her college boyfriend. But again, she thought that he was beneath her, and so he moved on to L.A. But the story continues. So again, she's Instagram famous by now. She's already been on Fresh and Fit. She's already been on, again, this is 2014, so Fresh and Fit wasn't even out then. So she's at this time Instagram famous. She's already, developed her, she's already laid the groundwork for her success with ballers and entertainers. By the time she hit LA, and she's already getting hate more than likely from females, who were disassociating themselves. They were dissing her because of the fact that she was claiming pregnancy by Colin Kaepernick when that wasn't even true, and she didn't even attribute to that. So again, through that attribution, to her name, she decided, you know what, I'm gonna fall into this, and I'm gonna be that. She's gonna be that bad girl. She's gonna be a bad girl. So, and she leaned into it, and quite simply gained her notoriety, gained her a name for herself on Instagram, and that's how her followers grew, and that's how the ballers came in, and she got to have her pick pretty much of a lot of ballers, and but again, this not necessarily ended up in success, as we're going to find out now.
Right. So then, did you start dating Kaepernick? I would just say that I started like dating. Period. Like I kind of just opened it up. It's not like we were exclusive, whatever. Um, so I would say that the the villain came about was I was a small town girl from Mississippi. Like to even be in certain rooms with people were it was unheard of. I never thought these guys would even know I existed. So I felt like there was still that like starry eyed element where I didn't know what I was doing. I felt like I had been like thrown into Disney World, so to speak, right? And, like the world is at your fingertips, and again, all these high value men are now seeking you. And again, I'm a girl from Ocean Springs, Mississippi. People don't even probably know where that is. So I think that's where over sexualizing myself and really pitching into that's like the whole bad bitch, like wanting to feel like something I didn't. So were you sleeping with?
So again, a girl of meager means, a girl who never really, um, again, who came from the wrong side of the tracks, quite simply, and she said to herself, you know what, I want a taste of the good life, and being who she was as a woman, as a pretty girl. Let's face facts. She's an 8 on many men's looks meter, and quite simply she leaned into it. So she had words from the start. That's why a lot of men from with manosphere education would say that she was born with value. She was born with her good looks. So therefore, she would get into many places that many other women wouldn't. She could get into the VIP. She can get in on the yacht. She can get into exclusive places, and she could trade her worth with ballers and entertainers, because men love to be seen with not only beauty but young beauty at that. So it was not surprising that she leaned into it, and I think her move to California worked out for her, because again, she was from Ocean Springs, Mississippi. She was a a working class slash poor girl, and she came out to LA seeking success and fame, and she hoped that ballers and entertainers would help her get there, and that's what she did. So she started sleeping with Colin Kaepernick and a few others, which we will mention in right now after this short time.
A lot of these guys, and then like posting stuff on social media. Okay. No, actually, like I said, besides that post where I had made him my man crush Monday, I didn't even say that we were dating. I never. It's not like I was like, hey, look at me, here I am at a game, or here I am at his house. It wasn't that. It was just that's how everything started out. Okay, so I'm just trying to understand, because there's one article that's a one-off, right? Yeah. Like you can kind of recover from one article, in my opinion, anyway. But there was more that happened in between. Yeah. What happened next? I mean, because I'm saying this because this is literally on like TMZ. So after that, when I was talking to him, I kind of moved on, because I'm like, whatever, you're robotic, we move on. Kind of got caught up with Trey Songz. So TMZ was like asking him questions about, because like my fitness group was like the Fit Thick Army. So then I was linked to him, right? Okay. So then that's kind of where it just started to. So then you started. Shit wouldn't work out. I would move on. Okay. And then yeah, like I especially when I first got on social media, it was a different place, right? Early 20s, guys from all over. I mean, it was just I would entertain one at a time though. That was like my thing. So like when I'm done with you, I'm gonna move on. And then it just became so unsuccessful relationships, and I moved on. Okay, so it was just like.
So basically, she engaged in the activity called monkey branching. She basically went from one guy to the next, one guy to the next, one guy to the next, bringing her from from one climax to the next. So basically, it was one at a time. Now I don't know if that's exactly true. She may be trying to save her virtue through that, but again, that's what a lot of women in her position would do. You know what? She leaves the relationship, she finds someone else. She leaves the relationship, she finds someone else. Trying to capitalize on her beauty, especially in her early 20s, because there were so many men in her DMs because she was so popular on Instagram. And she capitalized on her good looks. Now again, that's because she was already born with value, as clearly stated. So, unsurprising that she would trade on her looks. Now again, a girl like Just Pearly Things, aka Karen Samuels, would literally, Just Pearly Things. She was born rich, but she would, I think she would easily trade in those riches for her looks, because I would say that. I would say that wholeheartedly, because again, I think as a average looking girl, listen, she's about a 4 or 5 out of 10. Just Pearly Things. She knew that she had to work hard. She had to get out the mud. Although she did have help being from a rich and successful family, so she had that leg up. But at the end of the day, her looks could only take her. Her looks could only take her so far, and her money could only take her so far. She had to get it out the mud. So again, if it was an exchange of lies, I think she may have taken a bit of Brittany's life, but not to any great extent, and that's a credit to, just Pearly Things. But the interview continues.
You were linked with rapper, entertainer. A lot of my shit was public, and I feel like that's where a lot of people are like, she's a whore. But it's like, there's articles where someone took a picture of me at the movie theater with a guy. That's out of my control. So I would say now, when you kind of figured out how the world works, you try to be a bit more mindful about who you even step out with. But you can't control if people take pictures of you. That's
Were you posting any of these guys
No.
yourself? So you never posted
no, because we
yourself?
weren't exclusive.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna post somebody that's my man. Again, I'm a 21, 22-year-old posted that Man Crush Monday. That's obviously very childish, right? But all these other guys, they did not. I didn't post them on my page. So
And so then basically,
When one doesn't post something on their page as their boyfriend, quite simply, we're getting to know that she was a good time girl. She was a 304 girl. Let's face facts. She's being passed around. Her reputation was growing as being a hoe. She was being passed around from athlete to athlete, entertainer to entertainer. She went from Colin Kaepernick to Trey Songz to other athletes that go unnamed, and she would, try to establish a relationship with them when she was literally seen as a good time girl, and she was never taken seriously by that group. So, but again, she was so, and you'll find this out as we go along, she was so addicted to the limelight, she was so addicted to the lifestyle that Balls and Entertainment would provide, she would never break out of it. She didn't want to break out of it. She did not want to break out of it, guys. And you'll see that throughout this interview. She loved the life. She would take the slings and arrows as long as she could be in that lifestyle of Balls and Entertainers. As long as she could be around them, as long as that would, make her, make a healthier Instagram follower base, and made her rich along the way. So she rode that to some sort of success, to a lifestyle to which she liked, and she grew accustomed to, and she didn't want to lose that life. So again, she wanted to be a hoe, she'd be a hoe, but it was for a purpose, and we'll find that out later.
because you were linked to all these different guys
Publicly, yes.
publicly, there now that's when the reputation started to
Yes.
go. Then so this is where so then the book counts. Tell me
2018, yeah.
And from what I know, I haven't read the book.
Okay.
What I know of the book is that you basically expose a lot of people in the book. This is just what I heard. You basically all the stuff you've been doing you put in the book. And while you might not have said their names exactly, it was pretty easy for people to figure out who they were.
Okay, why?
So here's the thing, before she even gets into it. If you document something into some sort of prose, guaranteed that was her plan. That was her ultimate plan. Her plan was to be infamous. Let's face facts. She would sleep with as many bodies as possible. She would use that those sexual exploits, those sexual experiences to profit from. She would profit from those ideas. So for her to say that she just landed into this and she didn't know what happened, she planned this. That's why it's hard to feel sorry for Brittany Renner, because she knew the consequences and she went through it. She was a willing participant. And seeing that she had all these exploits, here's the thing, she basically followed the Karine Steffens playbook. Now, if you don't know who Karine Steffens is, that's Superhead. Superhead, if you didn't know, during the 80s and 90s, slept with all these ballers, slept with all these entertainers, and she basically had a black book of the who's who in Black Hollywood and in sports and entertainment. She knew everyone and had slept with everyone. So through her good looks, she created a book in which she talked about her, I think, 200, 300, or some odd exploits with balls and entertainers. It could be more, it could be less. And that's what she's infamous for. Now she has her own podcast, now she has her own show. So guess what? Now focus on Brittany Renner. Brittany Renner saw that, saw how it had aggrandized her reputation, and she said, I'm going to follow that blueprint. I'm gonna see where this goes, see where this lies. So she slept from baller to baller. She had this reputation. She had her Instagram followers. So she did all these things, and therefore she did a telenovela or a tell-all book. So for her to say that she was a babe in the woods throughout this, I don't believe it. Not for a second. She knew exactly what she was doing. She was very calculated. She knew what her looks brought her. She knew the balls and entertainers that came her way. So she said, I'm not going to be wiped out by these guys. Guess what? If I'm not going to be famous, I'm going to be infamous. I'm going to be infamous. So I'm going to take it to pros. And I'm going to talk about my exploits with all these balls and entertainers, because I'm not getting anything back from it. Even though she tried, but her name was already in the mud already. Once she was publicized as a quote-unquote hoe via the Colin Kaepernick incident. She was already infamous then. She couldn't shake that reputation. So she went in. She went into Instagram as she said as a villain, and she went in a tell-all book as a villain. And this would follow her life over the last 10 years to the point where she is at today. But you'll see there are repercussions to that. Let's continue.
I didn't expose anyone. My book was like a 25-year-old's memoir, basically, and I didn't list all of these sexapades. So there were seven people, fake names, 7 relationships, like situationships, whatever you want to call them, and what I learned from that. So there was a lot of, my book was about sharing my story and being accountable. The most like salacious stories or sexapades
again, I mean, listen. If it comes down to me, I didn't read the book either. I didn't read the book, but I think it. To be fair, and she has a right to be accountable. She has a right to tell her story. Let's face facts, and leave the and rather shroud the companions that she had at that time in secrecy, so that she would not be sued because of it. But again, she was trying to find. I think it was a case of she's trying to find that special guy. She her reputation followed her. No guy wanted to be around her. She leaned into her, her 304ness, her alter ego, her hoishness, and she decided to write a book about it, doing the whole Karen Steffens book following thing. And you know what? She wanted to profit from that, quite simply. And listen, a free country, a free market society, she's allowed to do it as she pleases. But again, it's as she said, she was then really considered she was really a 304 then. She was infamous for it now. She couldn't shake it. As I said, once it's put in writing, it's with you forever now. Now you've really leaned into it. So there's no difference in what she's doing. So again, she wanted to profit from her sexual exploits as she did, because no man was going to wife her. No man was going to consider her a respectful girlfriend, as we will see as we move forward.
In the book, Matt, that you wrote the book, the conversations I've had, because there's maybe like two guys in there that I have not spoken to, right? The other five I've had conversations with since. One of the people had actually asked me to market them as one of the people in it. They didn't mind that. Other guys in my life, just in general, were asked like why they weren't in it. They were like sad, right? But most of the guys I had a good relationship with, like we're still cool. So they understood that that was my experience, that was my perspective, and that was that. I mean, there was one chapter I spoke to recently. He was like, I was just waiting for you to say my name so I could have sued you for everything, right? And I'm just like, well, that wasn't my plan. Like I wasn't trying to hurt you. But he was like, I understood your perspective, and I get it. He said you didn't lie it. So okay, so none of the guys have hurt feelings in the book. No. Well, so that seems, because I kind of thought, like from what I had heard, is that some of the guys maybe weren't happy they were in the book. I'm sure they weren't, but I think the people that weren't happy about it, the two that I'm thinking of in my mind, I just haven't spoken to them. Okay. The other five I did. So, okay. I don't know. I don't know how they would feel. So you don't think like.
So again, unapologetic. She wrote the book because she wanted to profit from her exploits. She knew that she wasn't gonna be a baller's wife. She wasn't, and so she said, if that's the case, well, let me lean into this hoishness and become who society wants me to be, a hoe. But let me profit from that from that lifestyle. And that's what the book was all about. That's what. So again, she leaned into that reputation of being a 304 girl, a good time girl, and she wanted to profit from it. So, you know what I mean? A lot of guys would be upset with it, and certain guys didn't. They didn't feel that way. But again, it's sort of the whole Karen Steffens effect. You know what I mean? Certain guys wanted to be mentioned, certain guys didn't want to be mentioned, but she didn't care because she wanted to profit from it. So the question again: should we feel? Do we misunderstand Brittany Renner? To this point, no. To this point, we have not misunderstood Brittany Renner. Brittany Renner, she was. It's unfortunate that she became charged to the game, but she became charged to the game, but she wasn't going to go without something to hold on to, and that's what, and that means book sales. So, and she was salacious in those book sales because she wanted it was sort of clickbait so that people could buy her books. So, but again, if you call her an innocent party, she isn't. If you think Brittany Renner is an innocent party to this whole proceeding, she isn't. She knew exactly what she was doing. She knew how things were going down, so she said, to hell with it, I'm going to lean into it, I'm going to profit from this, from my experiences. So she became a known host. She became a known 304. So does she should we give her should we grant her misunderstanding? Probably not, because this in the days of the modern woman, this is what you want. This is what 304s want. They want to be seen as sexually liberated. But at the end of the day, it's what men think, and what men think she was then was a hoe, but she wasn't hoeing to any great extent. She wasn't, well, she was already TMZ famous, so let's say that. So a good portion of the population knew about her, but she wasn't so famous that the greater world knew about Brittany Renner. That was soon in coming anyway.
Because I'm just thinking, I just know how the guys are going to see it. Like, you're choosing to publicly link with these people, and maybe you didn't want it to be public, but it's like, if you're making a choice to go after the, like, rappers, athletes, like that sort of thing, of course people are going to call you a hoe.
And that's fine.
Yeah. And no, that's the thing, you don't shy away from that.
Yeah.
But it goes back to my original question, whether you think it's earned or not. Or it's like misrepresenting you or not.
Well, I think there's that I have misrepresented myself because again, Bundle of Brittany is like her own. That's like a Frankenstein I have created, right? And that's like a fraction, even just the time we've spent the past few days together. Probably very different than what you've seen online, you know. So that's what I have used to get views and get clicks, and I realized that I don't have to do that anymore. So that's where the misrepresentation comes in. But again, a hoe, and I guess is in this sphere, right, is someone who has sex with multiple guys. Okay, well, then that's not a term I'm going to shy away from. I've had sex with multiple guys. Now, I'm not going to take that word and be like, I'm so unworthy, I'm a whore.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. Like, that's how they want to distinguish what category we would fall under. I got no problem with that. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, I've had sex with multiple guys. It didn't work out. I moved on, you know?
Okay,
So again, self-confessed 304 girl. Self-confessed. She knew she was a hoe. She knew her exploits were hoish. So she leaned into it. She called it. She calls herself accountable and such. But at the end of the day, I'm glad. I'm so glad that Just Pearly Things held her to the mast on that. Because that's something Kevin did not do. Did not go down that path because I think he was trying to be, nice and endearing and such. He didn't want to go in on her. But God loved Just Pearly Things. She went in on Brittany Renner. She nailed it to the mast. So you're a hoe, right? Yes, I'm a hoe. Good. Now it's good for, but, it's good for reputation and such. I mean, there are racial undertones to that. Yes, I get that. However, a hoe's a hoe's a hoe's a hoe's a hoe's a hoe's a hoe, no matter what race you are. Now again, being from the African diaspora, it's typical that these people are accused of such, and it's wrong, to be fair and frank, but you gotta call a spade sometimes. And she got on with hoish ways. And I think that was part of the reason why Brittany Renner was exposed, was brought onto the show here, was to show that she was indeed that designation, and that of a hoe. That was her goal. That was part of the goal for Just Pearly Things, was to expose the fact. I mean, her title for her show was "Can You Turn a Hoe into a Housewife?" She wanted to nail that mast on Brittany Renner. As far as she would try to run away from it, that was the key in her line of questioning. Whether you like it or not, whether you see it as racist or not, because that was the key in the line of questioning, was to literally nail Brittany Renner to the idea that she was a hoe. Because she would try and dodge and duck and dive and, try to move her way around this, but I think that's what the first 13, 14, 15 minutes was all about, was to nail Brittany Renner to the mast that she was a hoe. To the mast, sorry, that she was a hoe. Nail it to the mast that she was a hoe. Now we know she's a hoe. Now she knows she's a 3 or 4 girl. Now is she misunderstood? So far, not really. Not from all intents and purposes. She went LA to deal with ballers and entertainers. She gained her Instagram following. She wrote her book. She slept with ballers and entertainers. She wrote a book about them. So was she misunderstood? No, that was her plan. That was her fallback plan. I think her main plan was to get a baller and fall in love with them and become a trophy wife. That was her main thing. But she wasn't finding that. Because I think the first strike was being Colin Kaepernick's girl and be considered a hoe then. So she gained a bad reputation from there, and then she couldn't shake it. She could not shake it. Now, are men to blame for that? No. Instagram is a ladies' platform. So if most of those accusations came from women. It's only later that men started jumping on that bandwagon, as we'll soon see.
That part you don't necessarily feel like was misrepresented based on how the guys how they would see it. Okay. So then next, this is where I heard of you first. Okay. Let's talk about PJ. Okay. So you do the book. Is PJ next, or is there something in between?
Meaning like when we met.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we met. He actually came to my hosting in 2018, May of 2018. So that's like basically when we first met. It was not romantic. Like literally had a job there. He's like, hey, I'm gonna come by. Okay, cool. He invited me to his game at UK, February 2019. Right. So we met. I went back for my birthday, so I went to 2 Kentucky games, and that's when we first started talking. Like after my birthday, we talked almost every single day. And
Now let it be known, guys. She is 6 years older than PJ Washington. 6 years older. So he was 19, 20. She was 25, 26. So this is a grown woman here dealing with a younger man. But it was always her intent to deal with a baller. Let that be said. Her true intent throughout her 20s was to find a baller and to marry a baller and to have a baby with a baller. That was her true intent. She struck out a few other times. She wrote a book about it. All intentional, mind you. Because she wanted to be compensated for her, for her hoish ways, for lack of a better word, for her proclivitous ways. There you go. To put it in pretty language, frilly language. So she was, and remember, the first time they met each other, they slept together. So it's not as if she's trying to be a virtuous wife. This was whole playbook 101. Try to sleep with them and try to attach myself to them. So all along here, her intent was has always been, ever since she moved out to LA, was to attach herself to a baller. That was her whole intent. Ordinary guys need not apply. Sub 5 need not apply. You are not on my list, and you'll find out later it was not on the radar. She wouldn't bite an eyelash to them. The last time she did was in college, some 3 or 4 years previous. She's 26 now. She's 26 while he was 19. So it was 3 or 4 years previous when she was in college. That's the last time she was with an ordinary guy. And she said never again. As you'll find out as we go on.
I was aware, like, he was younger than me. I always had a lot of judgment towards guys who were younger than me because I'm like, you're younger than me, how can you handle me, right? But I always felt like PJ saw me for me. And that is the fucking
That is so key, what she said right there. She got a guy who understood her value. What was her value? High value. She was fit. She was feminine. She was friendly. And for the right guy, cooperative, submissive. And she knew her value from the start. And that's why she said it's the first time, because remember, she's not dealing with ordinary guys. She's not dealing with sub 5. She's only dealing with top 20% men. That's the only one that she wants to deal with. That's the only people in her quote-unquote radar. You'll find that out later on in the show. But that's all she wanted to deal with. That's all she wanted to deal with was these sort of ballers and entertainers. And if I get and her intent was to be impregnated by a baller entertainer. That was her true intent. That's the reason why she went to Hollywood. To be a baller's wife. That was her point. She just so happened that she fell into the whole category. She just fell into the whole category. Now she's found herself, okay, I got PJ now. Again, 5-6 years as junior. Now again, developmental mind of a college student, all he wants to do is get as much sex as possible, and quite simply, that's how their relationship started, was sex. There was no courting. Well, you couldn't court because Lord knows her body count was way too high. She couldn't be courted again. Let's face facts. She was a modern woman by then. She was a 3 or 4 by then. She was a hoe by then. So she thought to herself, you know what? I mean, she may have found love with the gentleman, but he was young enough to give her the benefit of the doubt. That naive, that much babe in the woods, because again, if it was an older guy, I doubt she would get that sort of time. So she had to go younger. To get that sort of understanding from a younger guy. But her intent, again, was to have a baby and to wed a baller. That was her full intent. You'll find that out as we go along.
So, and how old was you when it started? How old were you? Because this is the narrative. I've got a million questions.
God, about the age thing, and I'm so glad you brought it up.
You grooming. Like they said, because
That's a pedophile predator.
what? Just to give context to the viewers at home. If you guys don't know anything about Brittany, I saw a video of you where you were in the car saying this is basically how you can get a kid off of an NBA player. And it's really easy because these guys don't wear condoms, and it's something to that effect. So then, a couple years later, when you have a kid off an NBA player, it's not a good look, and especially that he's a lot younger than you. So what did you feel like was misrepresented there?
So, to give a little bit more context to the video too, especially, I think I made this video in 2018 and I was in my car ranting, like I always do, and people were saying that, you're a gold digger, you're this and you're that. And my way to defend myself,
Was that when you also said that you pay for your own flights too? I was just
I would have to go to my archive and play the video in its entirety to be able to confirm that, because there were other times I talked about paying for my flights. But in that video, I was saying that if I really was a gold digger, I could have several kids by now. And so it was an attempt to make a group of people look bad, and I made myself look even worse. Because I'm like, what are you guys talking about? I'm a gold digger. These athletes don't use condoms. I could have a baby by them, right? It aged horribly, right? And I don't ever try to deny that, and I don't do apology tours. It is what it is. I said what I said. Like, that was my truth. That was my experience. The people that I was encountering, not even like an athlete thing. A lot of guys don't wear condoms, but it was surprising to me that people of such high status were a little bit more reckless, right? And for the
So again, people. Again, you gotta say it. She put a video out there saying how to get ballers. How to get impregnated by ballers. Make sure that they're the ones who don't wear condoms. Make sure they don't wear condoms to bed. She gave game to ladies to say, if you want a baller, this is what you do. Insist that these guys don't wear condoms in bed. Then impregnate yourself. Another hoish way of doing things. There's no doubt about it. Does she want to? That's what I'm saying. It's like, and you'll find out later she's trying. She has this mea culpa, but she wants to be forgiven for that, and she considers herself a virtuous woman. But let's go through the full video here. Well, as far as we can, really, and really judge her on what she says and what she does. And quite simply, she's got hoish ways. There's no doubt about that. I mean, we're trying to give her the benefit of the doubt here, but she keeps making mistake after mistake after mistake. Sleeping with different guys. Writing a book about sleeping with different guys. Then she wanted to get a baller that's 6 years a junior. Then she had, count the mistakes. Then she had done a video on Instagram on how to get a baller. By not letting him have a condom. Because these guys are so stupid that they won't bring condoms to bed. So, make sure you're ready. Make sure you're ovulating so that you can be impregnated by these guys. What does that say to you? What does that say to you? She walks like a hoe. She talks like a 304. She acts like a modern woman. Guess what? It is what it is, people. She's trying to explain her way out of it, but it's in the name. It's in the title of Just Pearly Things podcast. Ridiculous. We're trying to get the benefit of the doubt here, people, but she line after line, she just keeps messing up. She keeps messing up, guys. I'm trying to defend her here. I really am I'm trying to see something. I'm trying to salvage something of Brittany Renner's behavior, but I can't. Think of me as a defense attorney. With all this evidence against me, what am I to do? What am I to do? She's gone to LA for to be a baller's wife. She's been with ballers and she wrote about it. She then takes up with a young man 6 years her junior in order to be a baller's wife. And then she has an Instagram post in which she tells gentlemen and ladies, more importantly ladies on Instagram, because listen, Instagram is a ladies' platform. Let's get that right. How to get an NBA to impregnate you. What's counsel to do? What's counsel to do?
I think there's so much to lose. Yeah, I guess that's exactly what it is, right? It's like, why do you trust me, right? Yeah. And as a young person, and you're not even young person.
So in your head, you were saying, like, fuck the haters. I could have a kid. Yeah. None of these people, like, you wanted to catch a kid by an NBA player.
It's really easy because they're dumb, right? So that's where the context of that video, right? And then I met EJ.
She's actually insulting NBA players by saying, you want to catch a kid, NBA players are dumb, they don't bring condoms to bed. Be with it as it may. So she's actually getting this for likes, for clicks, guys. Hoish behavior for clicks. Now again, you being an NBA player, you got to be wise to this. You got to be wise to it. But she is what she is, and she's doing what she's doing, guys. She's doing what she's doing. No two ways about it. No two ways around it. Because she wanted to cater to the 20%, and if she has, and she will do whatever it takes to be there. Now, I think this is from humble beginnings, but I think, quite simply, she was desperate for the fame and desperate for the limelight, people. And whatever she had to do it, she did it. Even if she had to be a hoe.
Like, we started talking, he was 20 years old. We have a 6-year age gap.
You're 26.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm 26. 20-year-olds are pretty.
But I'm telling you, when I met him, I just felt like, and like, genuinely,
Yeah.
he had an old soul. That's how I felt about him. So, a lot of people try to, like, I don't know, 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 like, I don't know
Again, guys, she's pulling heavy hits. It's all of her behavior tells on her. It just tells on her. It just tells on her. Her behavior denotes the fact that she only wants balls and entertainers. That's all she wants. She was dealing with somebody on the Nuggets before she met PJ. That was her intent. Her intent was to be a baller's wife. That was her true intent. The fact that she had to go through all those bodies in order to find PJ Anderson, so be it. Let me profit off of that. Let me profit off of that. The fact of the matter is, okay, you like a younger guy, so be it. But you can't. But again, she did the research to find out about PJ. She was wondering if he was going to be an NBA type player. And if he wasn't, believe me, she would have cut him off long ago. That was over. Long ago. If he never made the NBA, pretty much that relationship is dead. It's done. She tracked his career to a point where he got to the NBA. Oh, then she got the hooks in. Big time.
That's where people just make up their own shit. So it's like, well, I can't really. You guys are gonna say what the fuck you want to say. All I can do is sit here and tell you the truth. You know.
So 20, you guys start talking. When did you get pregnant?
I got pregnant.
You were with him for how long?
So we talked.
Were you guys dating or were you like linking?
No, we were exclusive when I got pregnant. So we talked from February 2019 to February 2020. Now, I don't know what he was doing, who he was doing it with, whatever. But we started dating February 2020. I left California April of 2020, and I moved in with him. I had my own place, but I was staying in his apartment. We were basically kind of living together already. He asked me to move in with him in the summertime. I got pregnant August 2020. So we had been a year and a half at least familiar with one another, but exclusive probably those 6-8 months.
6 to 8
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
And did you say, was the child planned?
Yeah, I mean, my son is Paul Demaine Washington III.
Okay.
Like, he has his father's
You
name.
guys sat down and said, I want to have.
Yes, and I was on birth control for 10 years because I never wanted to go through an abortion. That was just me personally. I'm like, well, if I can prevent it, and I'd rather be safe. And again, like, I'm hot, I'm popping, I got shit going on. I'm definitely not trying to have anybody's child, right? So I got off birth control, and there was a conversation, got off birth control, I got pregnant. So it wasn't some, oops, I came at you and you got pregnant. Like, no, it was, I want a family, I want a child, we're gonna get married.
Has PJ ever done like interviews on this?
No.
At all? No. I'm just curious. Would he say the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the truth is the truth. You know, I mean, there's some things like, again, we can share perspective,
Right.
but the facts of the matter are, he was planned, so that can't even be disputed. You know, I always thought PJ was like kind of quiet and more to himself, so I don't actually see him ever really doing an interview. Like, I feel like now when we broke up, how everything panned out was like very public and out of character from what I knew of him. But I don't foresee him doing an interview. I don't.
Here's the thing, and here's where this is where. Okay, let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Let's say that he was planned. That the child PJ Washington III was planned. Why so quick to break up? Why so easy the untying of ties? My belief is that indeed, I think if you ask PJ himself, he would say different. He would say, okay, I wanted to be a father, but I wasn't exactly down with the idea of us getting together and getting married. That is Brittany's story. Because we haven't exactly, listen, there wasn't any real attempt on PJ's behalf. Now, if somebody could prove me wrong, mention it down below in Talk Live. Please do. I'd love to hear from you. But we never heard from PJ to say that, yes, I am a father to this child. I want to be in this child's life. I want to marry Brittany Renner. Point blank, period. We haven't heard that yet. So we give her the benefit of the doubt on that, but something tells me that there was it wasn't exactly peace in the valley between these two leading up to the birth of that child. I think he may have wanted it at first, but at the end of the day, he may have wanted an abortion and she refused it. Because Lord knows he's an NBA player. Why would she refuse it now? So it could be PJ wanted it or not. That's for them to decide. So I'll give her the benefit. I'll give her space on that, but because again, we haven't heard from PJ's end. But these things happen. It wouldn't surprise me. It definitely wouldn't surprise me if PJ wasn't exactly on board totally with this idea of having a child with Brittany Renner. I think if she did the research on him to be an NBA player, he did the research on her in terms of her whole facts. And she knew she had a sullied reputation. And at the end of the day, for him to start a relationship in February and to end it in August with a child, and for her to move in, I think she pushed herself on him to get things together, and he was going along with it. But I very much doubt that they had come to the conclusion that yes, we're going to get together, yes, we're going to get married. I think she found a good thing. She believed PJ Washington was going to be a full-time NBA player. She fell in love with him and the sex, and she said, you know what? I'm locking this guy down. I'm pushing the button. I'm pushing the button. And that's how a lot of these NBA guys get trapped in these sort of things. That's how a lot of these entertainers get trapped. Because the ladies see what they can bring, and they say, you know what? That's my target. I'm going in. Gotcha. But that was her intent all along. Remember, throughout this storyline, that was her intent all along. Her intent was to be a baller's wife. She didn't want a simple, ordinary life. She came from that, and she hated it. And she was going to let her looks make her find a baller. She already said she was with a baller. She was monkey branching from baller to entertainer to baller to entertainer to baller, but mostly ballers. But she was to be a baller's wife. And if she had to be a hoe to do it, let her be a hoe to do it. The thing about it was, PJ and most men aren't. Let us continue. I'll announce that a bit later.
So you guys break up, or no, you're together. Tell me, how'd you guys split up? And you can be as detailed or not detailed as you want. You don't have to go into it. Okay. There were some things, like, cause I had never gone through anybody's phone, and cause at the time I was 28, right? Girl, you were dealing with athletes. I never went to anybody's phone. Never. Is that because? Okay. No. Because I felt like if I have to go
So again, guys, that's why being red pill in these days and ages is so important. You see how much forgiveness Brittany had for PJ Washington during this time. He did not, as I said before, he did not take Brittany Renner seriously. He didn't. He didn't. From the start, he never did. He's an NBA player. He's a baller. Okay, fine. You want to be here, that's fine. But at the end of the day, I'm getting invitations from 3 or 4 or 5 women. I'm going to entertain them too. And I haven't shown you a ring of certain characters, and I doubt that she will. She never even said that he proposed to her. Never did. They were talking about marriage. Oh, they were talking about making it official and such, and she moved herself to Charlotte just to cinch the deal, and she tried to get pregnant. She said her and her friend were trying to get pregnant. That was her full intent. Her full intent was to move to Charlotte, try to solidify this baller, and get pregnant. That was the main thing. Even if she didn't get married, she'll always have the baby. And if she always has the baby, she has to have the child support, which she'll explain later. She knew exactly what she was doing. The only thing is, it backfired. She thought, oh, I got myself one. He's young enough, so he's a bit naive, so maybe I can manipulate this and turn this into a baby-making machine. See, Gabrielle Union and my man Dwayne Wade. He's young enough, he's impetuous enough, yeah, I've got the looks and so let me see if I can work this out so that I can take over. So that I can be the first wife. The only thing about it was, he was dealing with somebody since March, April. When they first got together, he's saying, you know what, but look at what she said. She said, I'll forgive him. Because he's a baller. I'll forgive him. That's why, guys, it's all important for us to be the best we can be. Because you know what gives you that? You know what happens when you become the best you can be? Forgiveness. From ladies. They'll forgive you. They'll pardon you. They'll understand when you have options. That's why we don't cheat, we have options. And ladies understand that because we know we're in demand. That's why we're the top 20%. That's why it's so important to follow your passion and not the women. Because women won't respect you anyway. If you follow them. They'll lose respect for you. But what was she willing to do? She was willing to forgive him for these grievances and for having these ladies. Because she knew he was a baller. You got to be high value, and to my dying day, that is my goal and that is my purpose, to be a high value man. Because you're getting this sort of grace. This sort of grace.
Just a little bit before, I'm just thinking like an NBA player, faithful. I've seen him. I've said this before, but I've seen him at the D3 level. D3, the nerve. No, the fucking nerve. No, I mean I just saw those guys would like move around campus, and it's like that's Division 3 basketball. I'm thinking Division 1 has to be madness. The NBA has to be madness.
Yeah.
And firsthand, you've been dealing with these guys for like a decade. You know it's madness.
It is, and that's just where I kind of just take it on the chin, and I'm like, I believed in someone, and it just didn't work out, and I know, and he knows, the conversations and the consistency that I thought, like, this is more than enough for me to trust it. I just believed in him, and I can accept my responsibility in that for overlooking certain things that really I should have paid more attention to.
Why did
Because you wanted to be a baller's wife, Brittany. You would overlook 1,000 things as long as you become a baller's wife. As long as you get that lifelong goal to be a baller's wife. You look for 1,000 things. And secondly, if PJ Washington was interviewed by myself or anybody else, I'm sure he'd have a different story to Brittany. He just doesn't choose to air it out in public, and all the credit to him. He doesn't want to air it out in public. But he would have a different story to one that Brittany Renner had in general. No doubt about that. He would have a totally different end, a totally different story. So, is she misunderstood? Nope, not yet.
Do you ever look for like just a normal guy with like a 9 to 5? Because it's just guys will always say like, pay attention to what they do, not what they say. And it's like a lot of times we'll complain about getting like cheated on or something, right? And then we overlook the 9 to 5 guy who won't.
I would say that, I mean, my first boyfriend I met in college, he was a regular guy, and I love him to death. I had dated a lawyer during that span.
Who broke up with who? College guy.
I broke up with him because it got abusive on both ends.
But this is just from the guy's perspective. Like they're gonna be like, okay, well that was the guy who wouldn't cheat, but you dumped him.
Well, it got to a place where he was very he was condescending and emotionally really abusive, and then got to a place where you're pushing me, now you're bruising on my arms, and now I'm putting my hands on you because I'm trying to defend myself, and I just felt like the respect was gone. It didn't have nothing to do with whether he cheated or not. It was we are very toxic together, and I do not foresee us moving past this. Like I feel like once, and this is me, once that respect is lost for whatever reason, and then now y'all put your hand on each other, it has to end because there's only one way it's gonna end. It only gets progressively worse, in my opinion, in my experience. I'm not trying to find out either. You're putting your hands on me, doing all that other stuff. I don't want to see what you're capable of.
Did you file a police report at all or no?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, it's just like from like a lot of times we'll say these things about guys, but it's like the question is like me if I'm getting punched in the face,
Well, I wasn't getting punched in the face. It was more so you were like bruising my arms and
Mhm.
pushing me down and little stuff like that. And I know if you would have punched me in the face, that would have also be a different thing. I've never been hit or punched anything ever. So yeah, I feel like it was leading up to being punched in the face. But bruises on my arms to me is a little more than enough.
and then you never hit first.
I slapped him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you would agree that's like mutually abusive.
No, that's what I said. I said it. I didn't. Yeah, I never said it. Oh my god, no! Like it got to a place where I'm like, all right, now I'm about to start putting my hands on you too.
And that's the thing, like
And now I know why we call Just Pearly Things Karen Samuels. Karen. Karen Samuels. Because that's exactly the line of questioning that the Godfather would have gone down with it. It's like it's not usually mutual. It's not usually he put his hands on you and he abused you and there was no police report. It was mutual afraid, people. It was mutual afraid between Brittany Renner's first boyfriend and her during her college years. That's why she didn't file a police report. Because it was a fair fight. In most eyes, it would be considered a fair fight because he got bruised. He would have smack bruises. She would have arm bruises. No difference. None whatsoever. So again, let's call a spade, people. Let's call a spade a spade. This woman knew good and damn well that was her first and last ordinary guy boyfriend. She was addicted to the money. She was addicted to the limelight. She was addicted to the adulation. She was addicted to the fame of being an Instagram. She wanted to be an IG model, IG celebrity, IG figure / baller's wife. And after that first episode, she said, never again. And she went out to LA, and that was her goal. So to say that, oh, it was a baby in the woods. No. This was calculated. Every step of the way of her 10 years, last 10 years was, well, I would say last 7 years because she's 30 now. What you got to call it? Say 8 years. The last 8 years was calculated. She knew exactly what she was doing. In case of this, I would do this. In case of that, I did this. There would be fallback plans. There would be side steps. There would be progressions and regressions. But she knew where she was going, to be a baller's wife. Even if that meant she would be a hoe. And an infamous one at that.
I think a lot of times you actually do, agree with like a lot of the stuff I say, which is interesting. I was just expecting to disagree with you on like everything when you came, on some level, but no, you actually are more based than I thought you were gonna be.
I like what you talk about. I think that
Let's get on a little further than that.
this is a newer mentality. I don't know what this mentality would mean to society as a whole. We kind of talked about the arranged marriages and what would that mean for society as a whole, right? And I can't remember the verbiage you used when we were talking about how the arranged marriages and how women if we had dreams and stuff we wanted to explore on what that outcome would look like. You said the term. I don't remember the term you used though. Okay. But no, it's like I get it, and all I can do is just be honest about like this is the expression that I like that is coded within me, and I am willing to accept the consequences that comes behind it. So I don't ask for people to look at me through a different lens. I'm just kind of here to be myself and just showcase another perspective. That's really it.
So
To be fair, that's one thing I'll give her understanding for Brittany. I mean, she acknowledges the fact that this is her journey, this is her truth, this is her da-da-da-da-da, but she, she's a self-confessed 304 girl. She's a self-confessed hoe. She knew exactly what she was doing. She wanted to be a baller's wife. This is what she wanted to do. She wouldn't, assimilate herself with the ordinary guy. She knew her looks were above and beyond that. Above and beyond. So we have to give her credit for that. I'll give you credit for that. She's given understanding for that. But again, how she got to her place in the social construct, in social consciousness, in popular opinion, it was charted, it was graphed, she would take the slings and the arrows. And to a certain extent, this is the point I want to reach on, is that looking at those pearly things, I think she would exchange some of her notoriety, some of her looks, some of her things for Brittany's life to a certain extent. I think I think just pearly things is. Well, listen, I think she's sick and tired of being considered an average-looking girl or a below average-looking girl. And she would easily exchange some of that for some of Brittany's life to a certain extent. I think she would. I don't see she'll take it to the nth degree of Brittany, but I think she'll exchange some of that life. She'll be a hoe for a certain time if it means upgrading her looks. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think she would. Just looking at just pearly things right there. I mean, listen. You can't make a silk purse into a sow's ear. Just saying. And she's one of her ordinary looks. And I think if given the chance, she could live some of Brittany's life if it meant a sully in her reputation, because she would get that adulation that most girls would like. She's one of those 4, 5, or 6s that trying to upgrade to 8, 9s, and 10s. Good, no, good and damn well, it's not going to happen. If you had to turn the lens over to Just Pearly Things, aka Karen Samuels. But again, I think she's doing wonderful things on the manosphere, and her show is amazing and it's fantastic, and so far this interview has been great. But again, she would exchange some of her notoriety, some of her fame, some of her affluent lifestyle for some of Brittany's je ne sais quoi.
looking back, was there anything that you would do? And is there different advice that you would give to a 20-year-old girl that has the same opportunities that you did?
Before
I think the biggest thing that I would want to
Before she answers that question, that is the huge issue that I have with Brittany Renner is that this girl is inspiring so many others to do exactly what she did. That's the problem. That's the crux of things. They see her quote unquote success. They want to emulate it. They want to turn it into a book. They want to turn it. That's why they want to turn it into a baller's husband. They want to turn it into these sort of things. That's why a lot of the morals of ladies have just flown right out of the window, because they want to follow what Brittany has done. And Brittany has followed the same playbook as Karen Steffens has. Same thing, different generation, but same playbook. Go to Hollywood, sleep as many as you can, try to catch a ball, if not, be infamous. And get paid from your sexual exploits and from your leaned-in hoishness. From the character which you have created. That's her aim and goal. But the fact of the matter is, this splits into the younger generation, the Gen Zs and below that. I mean, she's a millennial herself, but it goes into the Gen Zs and below. That's why you have this huge proliferation, especially the younger generation, of 304s, of city girls, and of hoish behavior. Making it so hard for ordinary guys to get ordinary girls, number one. Number two, making it harder for these ladies to pair bond and find men. It's going to be very difficult for her to pair bond. She tried to pair bond with PJ, but PJ wasn't having it. Was not having it. Because he got wind of the reputation, he said to himself, nah, I'll decide against that. I'll just pay the child support. But if you think I'm with you, no. See, that's the one thing that the younger generation must realize, is that men decide marriage and relationships if in a heterosexual thing. That's why you're getting this proliferation of pansexuality and bisexuality and, to a certain extent, lesbianism. Because men aren't tolerating it anymore. So what are they going to do? They're finding solace with... Ladies are finding solace within each other. Pause. It ain't me. That's what these ladies are doing. Making it harder for virtuous women to come out and do the right thing, because they're so influenced by their friends that they say, you know what? Hoe is life. That's the saying these days. Hoe is life. And now Brittany Renner is the poster child for that saying. And that is where we owe Brittany and Renner some understanding. Right there. Right there. She realizes that she's been a 304, she's been a modern girl, she's been a hoe. She's been a city girl, she's been all these things. And she realizes that at the end of the day, it's not in a woman's being to be that. Now I hope that that message is amplified to most girls out there, especially in that hoe phase. Especially in that 304 phase. It's amplified to them. You can have your fun, but don't let it be at the sake of your soul. Don't let it be to the selling of your reputation. Because that lasts a lifetime. That lasts a long, long time. Not in the eyes of women, but definitely in the eyes of men. Now, if you don't care about men, so be it. But most women do. Especially high-value men. It resonates deeply with them. Deep. That's the reason why P.J. Washington did not want any part of Brittany Renner. Not a single part of her. Because the word got out there. She was who she was. And I guarantee it. Once he got wind of, oh man, she's a bit of a hoe. Okay. I mean, we kicked it and we had a good time and everything, but wife her? No. That was never his intent. That's why he was still dealing with ladies as the relationship began. Well, again, it's because he was a baller, yes, but at the end of the day, even so, her reputation was known. I'm sure ballers had told her about this girl. Told her about it. Listen, men ain't stupid. We have our own little networks, ladies. I know you have your little networks out there, but men do as well. That's why we always have a hoe fax readily available, especially to one who is nationally known and internationally accepted. If we see you on the hoe fax, word gets round. Our attitude changes, and you wonder why. You literally wonder why. Why we see you in a different light, why our behavior is different, why the plans that we made have changed. You wonder why. It's because we've read the whole facts. We've actually seen the reputation on view. And to a guy like P.J. Washington, he's seen the whole facts. It's like, no, wait a second, wait, this Brittany, wait, oh, whoa. Doesn't make for great viewing, great reading. No. He's seen all the bodies on her reputation. She's seen the sort of reputation she carries on Instagram. Does any man want to be affiliated with that? No. So that is why I say now, Brittany Renner is on the way down the path of, let's say, an Amber Rose. You see Amber Rose, you'll see a Brittany Renner. Amber Rose only wants ballers, entertainers, athletes. But over time, her looks can only get her so far. And no man wants to be affiliator. She went with Kanye West. She went with, and on down the line. What was it? Wiz Khalifa. Kanye West, out. Wiz Khalifa, out. And then a few other guys, out. To a point where now she's 40, no man wants to deal with her. That's why she got a tattoo on her head, a tattoo on her nose. She's making herself as ugly as possible. You know why? Because as pretty as she wasn't being selected. That's the path I see for this lady right here. Unfortunately. That's the path she's laid down now. So there's only one way for her, and she'll tell it over time. Only way she can do it is to profit off of whatever reputation she has in, social media and in the public eye. Because no 5% gentleman that she's talking about, baller, high value man, well, let's say millionaire, is going to ever take her seriously. Who's going to ever wife her? I'm very much surprised at that. Now, again, there's a possibility that it happens. But guess what, ladies? If you're considered a hoe, that's a scarlet letter. That is the scarlet letter. Oh, let me go. There we go. H. That's a scarlet letter, ladies. Try to live. If you're going to be a hoe, be an undercover hoe. But don't be a public hoe. If you're going to be a public hoe, no man wants. No man wants to be affiliated with that many bodies. Look at what's happening to Megan Thee Stallion right now. And her time with Trey Songz. She's being considered a hoe now. So guess what? She better get an ordinary guy because no high value man would ever touch her now. Nowhere near touching her now. Because she's in the public. She's in the public eye, ladies. That's why it's always important. If you're going to have sexual proclivities, keep them at a minimum. Because if your reputation gets around town and men start catching wind of these things, let alone be in the public eye into national, international status the way Brittany Renner is, you get labeled as a hoe on Just Pearly Things and in the manosphere and in wider manhood, be it blue pill, be it red pill, be it black pill. It is the scarlet letter, ladies. If we know you've dealt with that many bodies. Look at Karen Steffens. You think Karen Steffens has you think Karen Steffens has a boyfriend nowadays? A high value man boyfriend? Hell no. No. Oh, no. No man would be, no high value man would be caught dead with Karen Steffens. No high value man, no baller would be caught dead with Brittany Renner. As we'll soon see. Move this a little further here. Had to do it for effect. All right, there we go.
Where I'm at emotionally, and it's not even like a jaded thing, right? It's more of I know my value. I can have one conversation with a guy now, and I know exactly what he's about. So most of the guys that have presented themselves in front of me just want to fuck me. I'm not interested in that.
you go. She wants high value men. She wants balls. She wants entertainers. None of them will touch her. None of them will touch her. Same with Amber Rose. Same with Karen Stefan. It goes down the line. It'll be the same with Lizzo. It's a sort of a different thing, but it'll be the same with Megan Thee Stallion. If you're considered a hoe, let's go there. Let's go to Nicki Minaj too. Add her too. I mean, she didn't put her sully reputation out there on the line, but she sang about being hoe, and now guys are saying, okay, nah, we're good. That's why she had to get, with a convict to be her paramour. That's Nicki Minaj we're talking about here. But here again, she's resigned to the fact that because of her hoish ways, because of her 3 or 4 ways, because of her modern female ways in public, the guys she don't want her. That's the fact of the matter. They don't want her. No guy, no. I doubt average men would want her nowadays. And as she said, she's getting guys to look her up and to speak to her, to chat to them, but it's all about sex. Because she built up her reputation over 8 years of being a 304 hoe. That was her reputation. That was her stock in trade. She wrote books about it. And she thought, oh, I'm special. I'm not going to get touched by that sort of reputation. It happens to them all. And now she's 30. Now she has a child. Now she's hitting the wall. Credit to her, though. Credit. Here's the credit to her. When she had that baby, she got right back into shape. And that's something that a lot of these body positivity girls can take a page out of. As my girl Just Pretty Things will mention that a little bit later. But she can take a whole grain of kudos from me for getting herself together after that baby. Oh, she just, and she'll remind the people that a little later. But she is, she's in outstanding shape. But her reputation procedure, and guess what? No man worth their salt, worth their money is going to get with her. No, because no matter what you say, ladies, about being a modern woman and being sexually free and such, it still counts as the merit to you. She was once an 8. Now she's got a kid that'll knock her down to a 6. Now she's been considered a hoe that'll knock her down to a 5 or 4. She's now a 5 or 4 now to most men. Beautiful to look at. Nobody wants the wife. Nobody wants the wife then. Sorry. No man. Let's get that clear. No man who she would consider a person that she would like to date and marry would want her. Which is a very small percentage of men in and of itself. So she's getting used to being alone. There it is. She's not giving, again, watch this.
Normal mind. Okay. Would you date a guy makes $40,000 per year and he's not hot? He's just like, all right, average guy. Average guy is a little weird. He's like skinny, little beer belly. No. I take care of myself. I'm in the gym 4 to 5 times a week. At whatever his salary is, to me, I feel like I still want to be attracted to the person that I'm with. And $45,000, you could be in the gym. A gym membership's $20 a month. So if I had a kid a year and a half ago. I look damn good. So it's like I would want someone who takes care of their body. So
Fantastic. That's one thing I agree with Brittany Renner. Fantastic. Guess what? She worked her ass off to get her back to this shape. A lot of ladies can take notes. Take notes from Brittany Renner. On that front, I approve of. The whole 304 modern woman, city girl ideal, downright dastardly. But that point, oh, absolutely. Let them take notes after note after note of what Brittany Renner's done. She snapped herself back into shape. Snapped herself back into shape after a year and a half after having a kid. Snapped. And to that, full credit. Full absolute credit. But as she said herself, ordinary guys need not apply because she's so addicted to the baller / entertainer lifestyle, she doesn't want anything else. Nothing else will compare. She believes her image, her looks are an 8 still to this day. Still. To this day, she still thinks she's an 8, 9. When her sexual marketplace value has fallen, has plummeted. As I said, first she got pregnant, so that knocked you down a notch. And with a young son at that. So that knocked you down from an 8 to about a 6. From a 6, you have a whole reputation. So that knocks you down from a 6 to a 5 or 4. Knowing internationally, definitely a 4. You're now a 4. Unfortunately. In the eyes of men, you're a 4. Although she's a pretty girl. Average 8. That goes without saying, especially off of her Instagram video. She's a definite 8. But now she's selling her reputation there. She's considered not exactly well adjusted to this life of celebrity, of infamy. She's got a kid. Knock her down. She's 30 years old. Knock her down. She may have money, but who cares? No man cares about that. Remember, ladies? Remember, modern women? You don't care about your money. To knock her down. So she's at that 5 or 4, even though she believes she's an 8. She's been told she's an 8 all these years. For the last, I would say, 10 years, she's been told she's an 8 because, again, she came from humble beginnings. But she was that quote-unquote ugly duckling. She became a swan. She became a beautiful swan, but that reputation went out the window, unfortunately. And it's such a shame. Such a shame. If she had made a few tweaks and she hadn't put herself out that far, the gentleman, there was a certain way of doing things. And if she had that training, guys, she'd be a baller's wife. Easy. Easy. However, she went about the wrong way. She went down the wrong path. Especially that whole Colin Kaepernick thing. Threw her off the wrong road. And guess what? Where she ended up? In a ditch. In one big old ditch. That she can't get out of. She can't get out of now. Seriously. And I feel for the girl. I feel for her. But the fact of the matter is she's the harbinger to her own demise. Guys. Harbinger means that she's the one who ushered in this bleak period in her life. But she says to herself, okay, if I'm not going to do it, I'm going to profit off it again, as she'll soon allude to in a bit.
The beer belly is not where you lost it. It wasn't even really the money thing. It was like the attractiveness.
Like dead in the face, but jacked. 40,000 a year.
No, I like what I'm looking at. And then, like, especially too as they get older, like I like the salt and pepper. Like they get sexier. Like I want to date someone that I'm not attracted to.
Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing that Brittany's not getting, and I don't understand it. Ordinary guys would take her on. Because that's the market she's in now. High value men, she's off limits. She's off limits, especially with the amount of choice that they have. Ordinary guys would take a woman like Brittany Renner on. Absolutely. That's a trophy wife to an ordinary guy, but she wouldn't do it. She would not be seen doing it. She can find men who will love her for life, cater to her every need, within reason. But she's so addicted. She's so addicted to the baller / entertainment / Tinseltown, quote unquote, lifestyle that she wouldn't even consider it. She has to have a 6-pack, 6 figures, 6 feet tall, and 6 inches. She needs to have that. Even at 30, even with a baby, even if she's not a known hoe, she'll still do it because she's addicted to it. She thinks her looks will carry her that way to those men. But guess what? She's ending up like Amber Rose, guaranteed. If she doesn't change her ways, Amber Rose her future. She'll just get linked to a lower degree of men, but they'll stay with her for a while, have a bit of sex, and they'll say, you know what? I'm done. I'm out of here. I don't want this. Don't want it. Don't need it. So, that's her future. Just saying.
Someone like 20, 30 years older. 30 years older. He's salt and pepper and fine? Probably. He's okay. Because it's just like, even when girls say they're like bringing down their standards, like, do we really? I think I'm like, you know what percent of men most women find unattractive? What? Not just okay, unattractive. Okay. 80, you probably find 80% of men unattractive. So even if like just, and that's why I say like, even if you find a guy attractive, like you just think he's fine, that means other girls think he's fine. That's not 20% of men. And it kind of just puts us in the same predicament where it's like, through our 20s, like this is what the guys are complaining about. It's like, okay, through our 20s, we're gonna sleep around with the rappers, entertainers, and maybe like, you know, most girls, I would say, I know the manosphere says differently, don't have access to the guys you have access to, right? But it could be like the town rapper, the town like whatever it was, right? Yeah. And those guys will never commit, and if they do commit, they'll probably cheat. And then we come at 30 and say, take me now, maybe with a kid from someone. Yeah. And it's like the guy comes in and feels like he's like settled for her. Because the guys you really wanted were in your 20s. And it's kind of like what you're saying is kind of reiterating this because you just said now, like, you don't have the guys you want in your DMs anymore.
Correct, but this is how it's meant to be because a lot of people have villainized me and I've played into that. Actually, I want to say, people have villainized me and I have villainized myself because it's like, well, instead of fighting against it and, you know, I don't know, trying to convince people I'm actually a good-hearted person, it's easier to just be the villain. So I do feel like the villain element is a lot of, I would say more so what guys fear, right? Because they're thinking she's gonna hurt me, she's gonna write about me, she's gonna this. So to be honest, I wasn't meant to be with any of those guys in my 20s. Like, it wasn't a match. And like, there's nobody then that I'm like, I wish they would take me seriously now. No. Like, I like them the same reason they like me. I'm trophy pussy to them, and they're basically trophy dick to me. We both got what we wanted. I mean, essentially, we want to have sex. That worked. I mean, yeah, you have sex and you didn't want to start being in a relationship, but I didn't fucking know them like that. There's a lot of guys I didn't really know on that level to even, it makes sense. So, it's not even like you were saying, I'm trying to think of the sentence you said before we started this conversation, this topic. So it's not even that I'm like, oh, I wish I had those options. It's just more so like, that shit was shallow anyways. Everything was shallow about it. Like, you didn't really want to get to know me for me.
Yeah, but that's like the woman's point of view. You know what I mean? Like,
But they didn't want to get, if they wanted to get to know me for me, it'd been a little different.
no, I'm saying like from the men's point of view, it's gonna be, and this is just, you know, again, what the guys are saying.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, you made all those, like, you let all those guys hit for free, and now I gotta do all this.
Well, it's not even, I don't even look at it as, well, you did it for free, because I'm not a prostitute. Like, and I'm not a glorified escort.
Right, and that might not be how you look at it, but
That's crazy.
this is just how, like, this is how men see it. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, blessing.
God bless just pearly things. But she went in on Brittany Renner the way that Kevin Samuels did not. God bless him. Just pearly things went in on Brittany Renner. Made sure, I mean, she did it with a smile and a laugh, but she did. She wanted to make sure that everybody knew that she was a hoe. Now, I don't know if this is just because of the fact that, you know, she was prettier and she was, so this is sort of like an act of revenge and for views and clicks and such. I mean, there could have been an element of, you know, of that in there. So there was a bit of, you know, pseudo hate seeping into things so that she did it with a smile, quite simply. But, you know, it was basically for views. But Just Pearly Things really wanted to nail Brittany Renner to this whole moniker. She really did. She really, really, really did. Could be for clicks, but it was to prove her point. But she did it with a smile, which is, kill him with kindness, as they say. Kill him with kindness. So, we're here at this point and we say to ourselves, okay, you know, the fact of the matter is, Brittany's accepting of it. The fact that, you know, listen, she wanted a host life. She wanted a baller's life. She wanted a high value man's. Well, it's not high value men aren't considered ballers and entertainers, so we know that there's this, you know, again the whole KS rule. But she wanted a baller entertainer's life, and if she had to be a hoe to do it, so be it. So be it. She came from Cedar Springs? I think Cedar Springs. She came from Mississippi, nonetheless. Earl Springs, Mississippi. I think that's it. She came from humble beginnings. She's saying, I'm not going back to those humble beginnings. If I have to be a hoe in order to be out here, if I have to lean into that reputation as a villain, so be it. I'm going to do it. In order to make life, quote unquote, better for the next generation. The only thing she doesn't realize is the next generation is going to realize about her past and how she went about life. So it's not exactly going to be a bed of roses. Because your reputation is that of a hoe. I have that in my own family. A woman who thought she could come on the come up through her wish ways, but at the end of the day, she was always reminded she was a hoe. So she became, outside of to the wider world, a hoe. She became an outcast, as we see, well, to a certain extent with Brittany Renner. But she's teaching. But the thing is, she's leaning into that. The thing is, she's accepting of the fact that she will never be an ordinary man's wife. She'll only be a baller's wife. A baller entertainer's wife, and no baller entertainer wants that. So she is happy to live a life alone, as we'll soon see.
You took your girl on dates, right? Yeah. How would you feel? If you took her on, let's say, 5 dates before you hit? I don't know what y'all did. And then you found out that your mom down the street without taking her on shit. Like it hurts. It's like it hurts a man's ego. No, that's fine. And it hurts. It's not insecurity either. It's just like that's
but that's where I have to come in and say, okay, like I'm not saying your ego shouldn't be hurt. I'm saying you're not somebody that is even like we're not on each other's radar. So the man that I want can't care about who the fuck I went on and who I did what with. And that's a small percentage. So that's why it's like him saying that, he's allowed to feel that way. I mean, that's fine. Like you're not on my radar.
I think the point is like all men think like this.
That's why it's important in the Red Pill Society to repeat to stay on your path, stay on your purpose. Make your pursuit in life number 1 and these ladies number 2. Because it'll get you 3, 4, 5 dates to get a woman. You should only have it to 3. 3 maximum. If you can't get the pum pum in 3 lays, sorry guys, move on. Because they're just wasting your experience, they're wasting your time. Because what it takes 3 dates for you to get, it takes another guy 0 dates. 0 dates. And as she said, these guys went on their radar. I mean, literally, she's literally saying, okay, it bruised your ego, so what? I'm here for ballers only. I'm here for entertainers only. Which I understand because that's her intent. So again, any guy who wants to woo her has to be a baller entertainer. Simple as that. She's made it clear. So any guy going into any relationship with Brittany Renner knows that you're considered second best if you're an ordinary guy to Brittany. Simple as that. No matter what her rating is now. And that's fair. But that doesn't stop her from being a hoe. But she likes who she likes. She entertains who she wants to entertain. No matter who it hurts. And that's fine. She's doing what she has to do. So, what's a guy to do? Hey, stay to your perfect, stay to your crap, get in the gym, get educated, do what you need to do to earn more so that you don't have to go through 3 dates to get a woman. Sometimes it'll just take one. Sometimes it'll just take one. The more education you have, the more money you have, all those dates are reduced. Literally reduced. When you're in the top 10%, those 3 or 4 dates become 1 day. Become 1 day. You get your choice. That's why it's never good to chase women. It's always good to chase your purpose, your craft, and be the best you can be. Stay in the gym, stay healthy. Learn about these certain things about women. Learn about body language. And understand that these women are going to do what they're going to do. They are ruthless out here. Ruthless. So do we owe Brittany any understanding? Yes, understanding what her life wants to be. But at the end of the day, she did this eyes open, guys. Eyes open.
I'm not going to generalize all. I just can't. Like, we can say majority, but I'm not going to generalize and say all. Because it's like, what my biggest issue is like, once you hit a certain age, you're no good. Okay, so women, we hit 30 and we're basically useless to society. Okay, to most men, that's how they're going to feel. That our life still has to go on.
I would say not most men don't feel that way. It's again, it's the men that we want that feel that way because those men have options. 80% of men women find unattractive. Those men will date 30-year-olds. They'll date single mothers. They'll do all of it. It's the 20% of men that we want when they say, okay, single mom or no single mom. I'm gonna pick no single mom because there's just less headache.
Yeah.
If I can pick a 22-year-old or a 32-year-old, I'm gonna pick a 22-year-old. It's not to say nobody gets through, but just like on a balance of probabilities.
No, and that's fine. I just think,
And I think
That's so cool. What what Pearly Things just said, aka Karen Samuels. I'm sorry, I said it again. It's so cool. What just Pearly Things just said there, and that's the fact that you know what, an ordinary guy would treat you as a queen, would treat you like well, sort of being blue pill. Will pedestalize you. Will worship the ground you walk on, but she doesn't want that. And she literally says, women hate 80%. Women have a dislike for. Women find 80% of men unattractive. They'll humor maybe 10 or 20%. But of that, 60% unattractive. The top 20%. And that is Brittany Renner's target audience. Her target audience. And she has no room at the end anymore. She has no room at the end. No man worth his salt is going to wife her now. No high value man, no baller, no entertainer. Nobody wants to wife of Brittany Renner now. I mean, there's a small. Let's not say no. Let's say the chances are slim and none that she'll find a baller entertainer to wife her now. Not with a kid, not with a reputation. Hell no. No. That ship has sailed. That's left the port. But she's happy to be on her own. She's happy to trade on her reputation of being a hoe and a 304. And that's the sad thing about it, is the fact that, She can earn herself a relatively good amount of money doing that. But will she get the love of her life? Probably not. She'll get the child support, but not the love of her life.
I think the men sometimes get frustrated with us because they feel like we've been sold this fairy tale that's just not real, and these men are not real. Like to them, and that's where they come in and say like women are delusional for like wanting these things.
And from their perspective, that's valid. I don't have to, like, if that's however, whatever percentage men you want to say that's how they feel. You're saying all. I'm saying I'm not gonna categorize and say
Okay,
all.
we can
I'm saying all of these things.
I'll give you 5%.
Okay, 5%. Okay, well then I'm only concerned about the 5. Like I have no, like I'm not Jehovah's Witness. I'm not here to convert you. You guys shouldn't think this way about me. You should see me as this.
No,
See my value. I don't.
No, and I'm not saying like there's nothing you can do.
Yeah,
You're
it
where
just is what it is.
you're where you're at. You can't undo the men you slept with.
Yeah, and I don't want to. It just is what it is.
You have a child, so you can't undo any of that. There's no point in harping about it. And I think that's the point you generally try to make.
Yeah, is that I accept the repercussions of my decisions, good, bad, or indifferent.
But my only point is I'm just trying to like let you know this is how the men see it, and this is what they're talking about in the red pill.
I get it.
There it is, guys. She understands that she's a hoe and this is the life she wants, and she only wants the top 5%. She's gone on record to say, I said, listen, this is it. Now I credit Pearly Things for just nailing her to the mast on this. Say, listen, that's it. We're done. You've got me. I only want high value men. I only want ballers. I only want entertainers. Because I've been so used to that lifestyle for the last 8 years. I don't want anything else. And that's the same for a lot of women. But the only problem is, the only repercussion of this is that this seeps into the younger generation. That they only want ballers. They only want entertainers. They only want high value men. And that eliminates a whole category of men. I would say 50% of men. As they say, 1 out of 3 men are virgins or haven't had sex in a year. That number will grow. Guys, over time. That number will grow. Within the next 10 to 15 to 20 years, that'll go up to 2/3 of men. From 33% to 50 to 60%. Because all women want to pull their sexual attention to the top 20%. Or maybe the below 20% who they find relatively attractive. For the rest of the guys, oh shit. And that's 100% of women, guys. That's 100% of women only want the top 20%. So 50% will be gone. 2/3 of guys, I guarantee it, 2/3 of guys will be either virgins or lacking sex within a year, within the next, I would say 10 years. Especially as the baby boomer and Gen X generation move on. It'll go down to those levels then. So that's why I would tell my nephews and anybody else who would listen. Well, my nephews are over 6 feet, so they have a shot in life. But again, if I had kids, I would tell them incessantly, make sure you got your stuff together. Make sure. Because these girls in this side of the world aren't playing. And these passport bros, I can't blame them. I can't blame them. Can't blame them anymore. If they have to go elsewhere to find that sort of peace, to find those ladies who find them attractive, ordinary guys, so be it. Go. They can't be stopped now. Because developed modern women, they can't take that show on the road. And until they smarten up, they're going to be part of that 45 to 50% of ladies who I've yet to mention or will be mentioned here on the show upcoming, that they will be alone and childless themselves because their standards are way too high and they have it for way too long. Excuse me, until no man cares. Until they're out of that age of woman who can have children. And they've missed their opportunity. They've missed their window of opportunity. So women got to change. They got to change on their end. But a girl like Brittany makes that so much harder.
Okay, what were your biggest disagreements with me before you met me?
Okay, we're going to go a little further than that.
So, I like what you're doing personally, and I like visiting.
A little further than that, because again, she's she has a right to
I don't know about anything else.
toot her own horn, because again, Just Pearly Things has done amazing work. 800,000. Thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So please join me in that journey. Like, subscribe, comment. Sponsored by Dontalk, DONTALK.com. Again, thank you for joining me tonight on Talk Talk Live. I hope you are enjoying yourself in this special edition with Just Pearly Things and Brittany Renner. Such a great interview. Credit to Just Pearly Things for this sit-down interview. It's fantastic. Again, more to come from her later on this week or next anyways, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Yes.
There's a greater chance you're going to stay. So, what I've come to realize with having different types of sex, when you have a big one, you know when it's a small one, right? And these things, this experience, it shapes how you view what the ideal partner or guy or sex is like. And so if I take the concept that we're both virgins, we both don't know about get choked, get spitting in mouths and anal and all this crazy stuff. Sorry, but just saying. Wait, y'all spit in each other's mouths? You never have? No? I know a lot of shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, yeah, you only know of each other, so there's a greater chance. Like, your mind doesn't necessarily. I'm not gonna say it doesn't wander, but I would say that the probability is a lot lower because you don't know anything. That's it. You know, you don't know what a Lysol can's like because you never been one. Your husband's a 5-incher, he's a 6-incher.
Excellent point right there raised by Brittany Renner. And the fact of the matter is, what she's just announced right there is the fact that she can't pair bond now. That's another demerit to her now. Because she's had so much cocky, as they say, from so many ballers, she can't pair bond. And she realizes that with all this D in her life, she'll always be thinking of, oh, I thought about that guy, and I said that guy. Oh, maybe he had the better sex. Oh, and makes her so obviously confused that she can't pair bond anymore. She can't find a man. The only way she can find a man is if he's financially compatible, socially compatible, and also, and fitness-wise compatible, and also sexually compatible. She is the true 6'6". He needs to have over 6 feet tall, over a 6-figure salary, now 7 figures, 6-pack abs, and 6 inches or more. She's the ultimate. She needs to have all those things before she commits. And it's harder to commit because she's had that for 8 solid years. So how's she going to pair bond? I ask you these. Mention in the comments on Talk Talk Live. How's she going to pair bond? How? If you hear me on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, mention how. How is Brittany Renner going to pair bond with all these D's in her life? All of them. And again, what man wants to take on a woman that had all these D's in her life? Again, it's self-sabotage. To be fair, Brittany is engaging in self-sabotage. She understands that. She knows that, but she won't go back anywhere else. Again, women will not, as Chris Rock said, women will not regress in terms of social standing. Men will not regress in terms of sexual activities. Men like what they like. Women like what they like. That's why she'll never go under the standard to which she has been accustomed now, especially with ballers. So there you go. And having all that D, pair bonding is definitely an issue as well. So again, she becomes, again, a 5 or a 4 because how can she get with anybody of any ordinary girth or any ordinary size or any ordinary bank balance or any ordinary height?
Do you think you've peaked? And if so, what age?
Peaked in what? Like look-wise?
Yeah, look-wise. Do you think you peaked physically, and if so, what age?
Like when I was in my best shape. I mean, obviously I've had a baby now, so my body's changed. I will say that the base is still pretty much the same. I feel like my favorite body, if I'm looking back at old pictures, probably 2019. Probably like all the pictures I took then, I'm like, damn.
How old were you?
2019. I'm not good at math, but sorry, I can't.
So about 29, 26, 27.
Yeah. I feel like that
3 years.
3 years ago. I'm sorry. Like I said, yeah.
She's 30 now, so
I feel like body-wise, 2019. Yeah, I feel like that was my favorite body. Because again, I feel like I've always had a really, because genetically I've just always had a really nice body, and I was always in the gym as well. But I think I was a lot skinnier in the 2015, 2016. So 2019 was probably like my favorite, and then got bigger.
When do you think most women peak? Also,
Probably like mid-20s, maybe. Yeah. I mean, I'm going off of when I look at the girls I went to high school with on my Facebook. I'm like, she used to be that girl, and she's not that girl now. You know, not trying to be mean. It's just like they just look a lot.
it's honest.
And it's like you can't control a lot of it. It's genetic. So unless you have the money to get like work done, you're going to age. It's a natural thing. So I don't even say that to be nasty. I just feel like probably like mid-20s, like 25, 26 maybe. Usually, yeah, that would be my guess.
I actually think most girls peak at like 19. I think most of them
19?
Yeah, I really do.
You're like still babies, I feel like. You're still growing into your body and stuff.
Most girls I know in the U.S. got fat. Like, most girls were in better shape when they were 19, and I think that's like half of it.
Okay.
just pearly things. I love you. I love you. And you is, again, in a country that is so obese, it is true. The best, fittest years of a woman's life in that, well, in the United States, and in most countries, as in most developed countries, is probably when a woman's in her teens. Or just coming out of her teens, 18, 19, around there. That's her peak. After that, she puts on the college 40 pounds. So she comes in at about, if she was 120 then, she becomes 160, and then she usually piles on from there. Unless she has a fitness background or is a fitness guru of some kind. And especially the black women who are 55% obese. Again, come at me in the comments, but look at the statistics on blackdemographics.com. Demographics made by black people, for black people, from the CDC, from the Department of, from the Census Department in the U.S. So, she's absolutely right. 19, they usually peak. A girl like Brittany Renner, she could take that on forward because she stayed fit. She knows she had great genetics to start with. So she was definitely in the clear of that, and that's why she could attract the balls that she did, especially after her college years, because she stayed in shape. So give Brittany credit on that. She stayed in fantastic shape. She still stayed. Look at her. She still stays in fantastic shape. It's a shame about the body count, though. It's a shame.
Maybe some got a little better style by like 21, 22, but I feel like I noticed, yeah, I 19, okay, for most girls. Okay. Blessing, my thing isn't loaded.
Yeah, I'm just gonna fast forward to this to like the 101st minute because she's gonna get into some other questions here. So let us move on to right around there.
It's a lot of the stuff that we talked about, you know.
Yeah, I think if I had to do it again,
Okay, she wants a informal wedding, which is cool.
Don't actually. So unless we can work something out between us, we will be going to trial probably in a few
There we
months.
go. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Can I ask you, because I was just thinking, can I ask you about child support and
Yeah.
like that? So
Yeah.
they're saying you get 10,000 a month
No.
of child support.
No, I don't. I do not. I don't get 200,000. I don't get 10,000. And right now we are going through the process of child support and custody. So unless we can work something out between us, we will be going to trial probably in a few months. Right now, I'm getting $2,500 a month.
Um, could you do just like 50-50 custody with him? Would you want to do that?
Because of his career, he most likely would not be awarded that because he's on the road so much. I'm very open minded. Whenever he wants to see our son, come get him. Like he's getting them from the 29th to the 7th, like 'cause he's traveling on this 2-week period right now. So anytime he wants him, I let him see him. Like I mean, I love PJ. That's why I had a baby with him. So despite like all our shit that's been out there and how hard it has been transitioning from romantic to like basically strangers and we got a co-parent now. I still love him. I love him to death, you know. But yeah. So with the custody stuff, I'm very open-minded. I just think with his career, it would be hard for a judge to like award him 50-50 just because he travels so much.
Because in my head, like, isn't it something that can be worked out like outside of court?
It is, but hearts don't break even, and I think in his mind, he has a number, which I won't say, but he has a number that he wants to stick to. And basically, when you're going through this process for North Carolina law, because it's very different other places, you don't get a percentage. If you both combined make annually over 300,000, you're considered off the charts, off grid. So then at this point, you have to prove how much you need in child support. So any bills that my son occupies, rent, car note, cable, groceries, those are things that my son occupies. And in Charlotte, the least amount that I could get would be 50% of each of those expenses, right? The most, depending on his career and what the judge sees fit, it could be up to 97%. So whatever bills he occupies would be covered, whatever for his clothes and diapers and all that, and then that's accumulated in a financial affidavit is what it's called, right? And then you present it to him, his team, if he wants to settle outside. If he's like, actually, no, that's too high, I don't want to do that, I'd rather try my chances in court, then that's when you go to trial.
Do you think that he would give you nothing if it was up to him?
I'm just gonna break there for a second. I mean, this is the predicament that she's in now. This is the sort of affair that she's in. She's had to battle for child support. Again, I don't think that this was based on love. I think it was based on on lust. And I don't think that PJ Washington really wanted a child or really wanted a family with Brittany Renner. That's why things have disintegrated so quickly. Because there's no foundation of love, guys. There is no foundation of love here. None. Absolutely none. You can't tell me there's a foundation of love in this. There's a foundation of lust. There's a foundation of like. There's a foundation of... things were just blooming at that time, and quite simply, when she became pregnant, that's when things disintegrated. Because I don't think he really wanted a kid with Brittany. I think he saw her as a jump off. I think he saw her as one of as another story in her book. He wasn't really ready for a child at the time. I don't think they planned for it. I think this may have been an idea of a definite trap move. I could be wrong. Let me say that. But no. For things to disintegrate that quickly and for them to be so tenuous on both ends, where he wants to pay one child support and she wants to pay another, I think, yeah. But again, this is exactly what Brittany wanted anyway. She didn't want to return to her life in Mississippi. Hell no. If she had to be a baller's wife, if she had to be a baller's mistress, she had to earn child support, so be it. If she had to be a canon, a canon mistress, so be it. If she had to get paid by the state, so be it. Because she knows the family courts are on the side of women. There you go. We could do a show about that, quite simply. But this is the life she wanted. These are the men she wanted, so this is the life she unfortunately came to pass because there was no foundation set in her relationship. And she already had a reputation out there, so it made it even harder to set a foundation in a relationship. So here we are, contesting child support in court. But at the end of the day, he wasn't going to pay alimony. But at the end of the day, she'll live off what child support provides, as she will say here.
For the first 2 months he gave me. Do you think that moving forward he would continue to? I think he would just give me $2,500. You don't think that's? I think that's plenty to raise a kid. Well, when you go based on the laws for North Carolina, it's all of the bills that my son occupies. So my car note is, I think it's $2,000. Our rent is $2,750. All these bills. So I'm saying it's those 2 bills alone are already around. But so this is just like the way the men are gonna see this is like it's like you're almost becoming entitled. And I'm not trying to offend you. It's just like because to me I'm like $2,500 a month. Auntie said she could do it on like $200 a month. No, that's fine. But in reality, she doesn't have a baby with an NBA player, right? So what also is well, let me finish though. Go ahead. So why it's entitled? It's law. This isn't like my personal opinion, and I've learned actually a lot about the law in child support. My mom got $100 from me and my brother, but again, it goes off based on your income and what the child would be accustomed to. So that's where all of the opinions don't fucking matter. Because if my son is getting picked up in a Lamborghini, it's like he has to be in a equivalent. Like the judge doesn't want there to be too big of a gap, and that is law. So people can be upset and feel how they want, but take it up with your judicial system. Like this is what it is. Yeah, but like the whole.
So there it is, people. That's why I say this was her plan all along. From the time she left Mississippi till now. She was not going to be put into a situation in which she was as a child. Getting $100 a month for child support as her mother did. She wasn't going to be put in that position. She will not be resorted to that. So her only intention was to ball as an entertainer. She was not going back broke. Brittany Renner was not going home broke. Get rich or die trying. That's her motto. As it was most women of a certain look and of a certain standard of look. Certain standard of beauty, I'm sorry. This is what she wanted. That was her plan all along. Oh, I based on no. It was a survival, guys. This was her survival plan. Just in case anything falls through, she knows herself and her baby will be taken care of by a baller. That's why I say to a lot of my men in the sports field, be careful. Because these ladies want to be just like Brittany. And they had a one-track mind. Look at her face. She had a one-track mind, and she was serious. Ordinary guys wouldn't cut it. She was not going back to that life. She lived that life, and she did not want any part of it. No part of it whatsoever. She was never going to go back to that life again. That was ingrained. That was embedded in her head from the time she left Mississippi. I will be a baller's wife. I will target baller and entertainers. I will make sure that I get impregnated by a baller entertainer, and I will make sure that myself and my children will have their lifestyle, whether by hook or by crook. So do I owe Brittany Renner and 304s out there understanding? Are they misunderstood? No. That's their intent all along, gentlemen. That's why you have to be careful with your seed and where you plant it. Be so careful with your seed and where you're planted, because you know why? You got girls like Brittany watching you. She studied her prey. She made sure he got to the NBA before she started a relationship, before she got anywhere in life. And any relationship that she got from. Yes, she drafted P.J. Washington. Let's call a spade a spade. She drafted P.J. Washington. Drafted him. Drafted him into the big leagues, the big money league. Instead of going out there and trying to get an established baller. No. She went. Don't put anything past her. This girl's a smart girl. She knows exactly what she's doing. She said to herself, you know what? I ain't gonna take from the top of the tree out there, because they've already been found out. There's too much competition for those gentlemen. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna do what guys do. I'm gonna go draft myself a baller. I'm gonna go draft myself a baller. Whatever she says in her mind with regards to, oh, we were bonding, we were soulmates, this is the one guy. No. Who gave me the tingles and feels. No. Her full intent, very full intent, was to draft herself a baller. Make sure he got to the NBA, and then start a relationship. Thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. On the road to 1,000 subscribers, that's what he said. But that was her plan. Now she's in family court, dealing with child support proceedings, knowing good and well that her and her son who she made sure was named P.J. Washington III. So I can take that into family court and say, this is his son, attorney's done. Where's the money? Because love is out the door. Out the door. But that was her full intent. Even if love was out the door, she was making sure she was getting paid. So, do we owe Brittany Renner understanding? Hell no! This was cold. This was calculated. She knew exactly what she was doing. If it wasn't going to be love, it was going to be a transaction. Instead of getting a guy from the NBA, she made sure she drafted one that was going to the NBA. Plain and simple.
Because you don't have to go to court over it. No, I would like to settle it outside. You can't, if I can't, let me finish though. Go ahead. I have tried to settle this outside, and there's still a chance that we could, right? I have given my financial affidavit. They've subpoenaed my stuff. They know what's going on in my business. They know what's going on. I do not have the final say. Okay? So if he doesn't want to settle, he does not have to. We can have a judge tell us who should be awarded what and leave it up to chance. Like I said, I wanted to settle from the very beginning. Doesn't matter what I want. Because I'm asking him, this is what our bills are, this is how much it would be. Very reasonable number based on, again, you can't lie in the financial affidavit. It is like they subpoena everything. So that's where there's full transparency. It's not like you can get a Chanel bag with this child support. This is literally to cover your child's needs. This is not alimony. People get confused, like $100,000 for a kid, like it depends on their lifestyle. I'm saying like this is like.
See, here's the thing. You hear what she just said? You hear what she just said? $100,000. That's just the lifestyle. She made sure that she would get $100,000, plus a little stipend on the end for herself. So she would get maybe she's aiming for, in my estimation, about $10,000 at least a month in child support. $10,000. That's the starting price. PJ wants 2.5. I guess her number would be 10 to 15 a month in child support. That's what she wants. Because the child's not earning that. Doesn't take that much to earn a child. It's putting her in the life to which she wishes to be accustomed. It's not for the child. The child, as she said, to raise a child is cheaper these days. I don't know. Again, comment down below. Now a lot of ladies will say, oh, she's earned that. She deserved that. And that's why I say, gentlemen, be ever so careful with you gotta be ever so careful with these ladies, especially if you're a baller, entertainer, or a high value man, because these ladies will try to trap you. It's just varying in degrees. I think it's easy. I think it's harder for a man who earns more to find a woman who's desirable because they're a target. They got a big old target on his back, as PJ Washington did, unfortunately. And now he's had to pay the price. Now he's in family court. And guess what? Family courts are usually sided towards women. She'll at the end of the day, get what she wants. And I'll have a show later on Talk Live on family court. That's a good point. I'm going to write that down. Family court. A family court show. And how women profit from family court, as she will now. This is what I'm saying to you guys. You got to be ever so careful. Ever so careful.